welcome to 2026, to the first episode of the Audio Link podcast. We're talking about inspiration, and it's really good. Really good. Tom talks a lot about...
We'll see how good it is.
Okay, well, I was going to say, you talk a lot about leadership and inspiration and discipline and mixing. We talk about mixing, obviously, and then other things of that nature.
We talked about gear a little bit.
Very, less than a minute of gear, but it's still there. It still counts.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Hope you guys like it.
It's going to be good.
Three, two, one. Ow. I just hit my wedding ring so hard.
Let's talk about marriage.
Speaking of.
Just kidding. Oh, my gosh.
All right. What's up, guys? We're here. It is Tom and Brandon.
Happy 2026.
Yes. Is this the first one in 2020? Oh, my gosh.
We took a month.
Yeah, we took a little hiatus.
Sabbatical.
The problem is, at the end of the year, my whole family came to town. Brandon left town. No,
Nope.
You stayed here. That was Thanksgiving. We had end of year conference. The business was just absolute bananas. We were just Donkey Kong country, full on, just tossing barrels of stuff, smashing stuff, hitting the ground.
Yep.
Okay, this is going great.
No, I haven't said anything yet.
So, that's why we took a little break, guys. But thanks for hanging around with us.
Yeah.
So today, Brandon, how are you doing, by the way?
I'm good. It's been a busy month. They say everyone, January is always reset, all these things, New Year's resolutions. And we've had the largest month in our company's history this month.
Yeah.
And so it's
and it was 3 weeks of
whatever resolutions you had, out the door, gotta work.
Dude, right?
So, yeah.
Well, this was the first year I kind of did a health resolution at the beginning of the year. First time I've ever done that. Honestly, I didn't really need to when I was younger. Now, turning 30, I'm realizing that I have to put my back into it.
Literally.
Yes.
Yes.
Literally, my lower back. Yeah. There's problems with it.
Tom calls me once every month and says, "Oh, I hurt my hamstring last night," or I twisted my ankle. Or
I have
playing tennis.
Yeah, honestly, playing tennis though. I've started playing tennis, and I'm trying to play a few days a week, and I have noticed my overall mobility is improving. Just kind of moving side to side, I'm feeling healthier and more athletic again, which is good. But okay,
well,
on this episode, we are going to be talking about how to stay inspired. And I want to keep it really open-ended so we can kind of riff on a few things. But this topic came up because Brandon and I were talking earlier, and he just brought up a interesting experience he had. Yeah, just go ahead and share that.
Yeah, we're Upper Room's doing a new studio album right now, and I'm mixing it, and after a while of doing the same thing, it's you kind of want to revamp the process and feel inspired about what you're doing and all that stuff. And I was like, oh, I really want this to be amazing, so I'm gonna just start from scratch, not pull from any template that I've built. Just start from scratch.
How common is that for mixers to do?
I think it evolves. So I don't think it's very common for people to start from scratch, from nothing, because of the volume of professional mixers are mixing a lot. Yep. So no one has time to start from scratch.
Yeah. Sorry, carry on.
No, it's good. But that's the great question. There's, there's a lot of stuff that you're mixing, and so you don't have time to spend a full day or 2 days just working
template routing, all that crap.
Working out the nuances of this sound that you're trying to capture. So, or achieve. The right word?
Yeah, it would be achieve.
Yeah. And so I just decided to do that. And it was an immature decision. And the reason it was immature is because I wanted to inspire myself by proving to myself that I could do it still from scratch if I wanted to. And my wife, so I'll finish the story first. So I spent all of like the majority of last week, probably 3 days, doing this record. It's 9 songs, got all 9 done, and from scratch and everything else. And then I was going to Nashville. I showed my wife I was going to Nashville, and I was on the plane listening to a couple, and I just I was like, ugh, this feels not great. I was like, it wasn't bad. It's just like,
just wasn't,
it wasn't there. It wasn't there. And I ended up being kind of depressed and super disappointed with myself. And then I come back.
Good.
And I resolve, I'm just gonna pull it into my upper room template, and just get it done real quick because I want it to be amazing. And I did it, and that's amazing. I love it now. So, but the moral is, like, I showed it to my wife, and my wife is like, you have a sound, like, people want that sound. That's what they want when they ask you to mix something, and they're not paying for me to have a creative journey.
Dude,
and that's so sad because I'm a creative person. So it's like, that's like so sad to me because I'm like, oh, but they just love me for me. No, that's not true.
Yeah.
You actually do provide value in and here's the thing.
It's not identity based,
it's actually a disservice. It's so immature because you're undervaluing yourself because you think that, like, I thought that the template I'd built for years and years and years mixing up a room wasn't good enough.
Yeah, yeah.
And I want to give it my best effort, and it's maybe aspirational in nature, and that's good.
Yeah.
But I kind of like threw away all the work that I did.
Yep.
And even though I do the same things, like I always use like SSL channel strip on a lot of stuff because I just know it. I'm really familiar with the sound and the things I like. But I was using a CLA 76 and a Pro Q on most things
instead
of that, and it just wasn't adding harmonic content that all that stuff does. Like, there was just a lot missing, and I realized that I'm actually super proud of the mixes that I've done in the past and the template that I have now. Because I did build that from scratch, and I did over time and years and mixes and albums and hundreds of songs, like all that stuff. I've built that, and that's actually my sound,
dude.
So I'm really proud of it now. It's like an emotional journey, right?
Yes,
but also it was born out of an immature decision. Does that make sense,
bro?
And this is last week, guys. This is the 3rd of February.
Yeah.
So it's not like a long time ago.
Yep, bro. No. Honestly, what you're saying is, I think, I was going to say for young people, but I think everybody who aspires to some type of longer term outcome, right? If you wanted to become a doctor and you do the schooling and you become a doctor, look out because Optimus is coming. But if you try to become a doctor and you went to school and become a doctor, it's like, okay, maybe there's a couple levels up from there, but it's like you have your outcome. Maybe you don't battle this as much as something like being a mix engineer. Because a mix engineer, there's always more business that you could attain. There's always the next client, the next level up. I mean, obviously, you've worked with a lot of people.
The difference with being like a doctor and something that's very science-based, and mixing is science-based, but it's science using creative to create a creative emotional response.
Yes.
And like with doctors, it's like, I need it to be.
It needs to be you're objectively right or wrong. They get better or not. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's really good. I found myself just like went through a journey. It's like, I've lost it, guys.
Exactly.
Or whatever. And that's just, you have to realize that, first of all, you are not what you do.
No.
Right. And secondly, so you have to separate your identity from that.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, someone told this to me when I took a job at a church for the first time. They were like, before you break down all the walls, ask why they were built. Right. And that's
no one knows how to do this in a job, but
that is this for me. That is this experience. It's like, before throwing everything away, ask yourself why that is. Why are these things the way they are?
Yeah.
Why are you the way that you are?
Well, when you attach,
You know?
everyone does that when they come into a new job. You know, half the, not half the people, a lot of people that sign up for AudioLink specifically, they just took over a role and they're like, hey, yeah, I just took over as the pastor. I just took over as this. And we want to get it to the next place. And I can see, obviously, they're attaching their identity and the value that they provide to their work a little bit because they're saying, okay, I do. I'm not talking about signing up for AudioLink, but in general, I think people do that because they're look, I need to show that I provide value.
Yeah.
And if it looks like I just rode the economy of the president before me, then maybe it won't be obvious that I provided value. I have to sign all the executive orders day one, right?
Yeah.
And it's like,
it's kind of a misnomer.
No, yeah, it's just a mistake. It's just a mistake. I think people don't realize, like, you'll know a tree by its fruit. So it's like, eventually, there's no one's good fruit can be hidden. It's impossible to hide it. The Bible says it. You see a man skilled in his ways, he won't work before obscure men, but before kings. Like, whatever he does, if he's really skilled, even if he's in like the middle of the Amazon jungle, like, he's going to be noticed by that tribe. And they're going to be like, yo, we need to have this guy do X, Y, or Z.
Those are just like laws of the universe. It's not, I mean, they are biblical, but
God put them there.
God put them there for a reason. It's like sowing and reaping, all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah, back to inspiration. Can I riff on that a second?
Yeah, please.
Okay, so
no, you can't.
Oh, yes. So here's what I was going to say. Well, you made me think of this. Like, so talking about the long-term outcomes. Anytime you're dealing with like a long-term outcome, I think. Okay, so I'm about to get into like my whole ethos with like the hero cycle.
Get ready, everyone.
I need to stop the Jordan Peterson right now. But like, point is, there's this in any process, okay, in any long-term process, at least what I've learned in my life and seen, any long-term process, there's going to be this moment of inspiration when it begins, right? It's when David gets anointed king, right? It's the moment when they leave Egypt and he finally lets them go, or the burning bush moment. The burning bush moment's much better. It's the moment of inspiration. It's the moment of like, oh my goodness, I can see this long-term vision. And then comes all the crap after that. And most of the time, it's like at the beginning of the movie when like the main protagonist, he meets the villain or he meets whatever, and you think he's going to win, and he fails. And then he goes down into the valley of the shadow of death, right? And then comes eventually him realizing who he is and the montage. And through the montage is when they actually become who they are. Now, the problem for everybody that I've at least seen, and this is so Tony Robbins of me to go into, but like this is the problem with that whole season is the valley of the shadow of death, the montage time, the Rocky meat shop time, right?
Yeah.
It's like, in all of that time, you don't know if the input that you're putting in is going to give you the output that you want.
You don't know
You don't know. And sometimes a small project like in sports, for example, ultimately this does come back to inspiration in my mind, and it comes back to a long-term mindset. In like, okay, so in my baseball career, I was so fixated on my performance and others' perception of my performance because I directly equated it to my own personal value as a being.
Yeah.
So
how old were you when that was happening?
This is between, I started acting that way when I was 10.
Yeah.
I was thinking about everyone's perception of me more than I was thinking about anything else. So when you do that, none of your muscle memory can come to the surface, and your practice is pretty much useless because you're all conscious thoughts. You can't play that way. You can't play any sport that way.
Yeah.
So
that's how I felt about playing drums.
Yeah, you're thinking about, how do others perceive how well I'm playing?
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, all the muscle memory, so I'm diving deep, but like all the muscle memory that you store when you practice, it can the way that it can best be surfaced, when they talk about like the zone. What is the zone? The zone is when you can kind of like, it's like a meditative state almost, where you can wipe your mind of conscious thoughts. if you can stop the conscious thoughts, all the practice, which is stored in your subconscious brain, your muscle memory, it all can actually come to the surface.
Yeah.
Subconscious thoughts are actually just like a barrier
Yeah.
it has to get through. So point is, I'm going to get way off here. I just did 2 tangents. My point is, in that process, what we're all tempted to do in my baseball career, I was thinking about all these things, and when I wouldn't see good results in one game, I would think of changes that I needed to make to my approach.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, this is just a long journey.
Yeah.
It's just a long journey. There is no adjustment to make. My swing is great. It was just the wrong day.
Do you know what's funny? So there's Neil deGrasse Tyson. He's like a scientist guy.
Yes.
I'm super into like space and stuff. I'm a nerd, guys. Sorry, I'm a nerd.
Yeah, we're on dramatically different fronts here.
I know. We did land on the moon, by the way. Anyway, so
I'm just going to hold my comments
okay,
there.
thank you. So he says that, if you stand at the base of Mount Everest and you're looking at the top and it's like this massive, like, landscape for you. If you zoom out to space and if the Earth was the size of a tennis ball, like it would be like a marble. It would feel like a marble. It would be perfectly smooth to your hand. Right. So like,
I see.
At scale, the Mount Everest is unnoticeable. But in the moment, it's Mount Everest. It's like, what is this? Like, I got to get over this thing. And so the point is change your perspective, first of all.
Yeah.
And that's
bro.
Yeah.
Dude, but yeah, I think that's fantastic. I think for inspiration, it's like we, in a moment, we're so quick to change our approach, I think, to your story. And I think that's wrong. I think we need long-term data before we change our approach in anything. If we at a time knew that it was correct, and the difficulty of doing something that's long-term is weighing, okay, what is it that I'm doing that is objectively good, and what is it about my feelings that are telling me to change something?
Yeah.
Right? And this is where like having sounding boards and wisdom around you, people that are older, time relativity is a huge thing. I'm not saying I'm like a success story of this in any way, but like I have positioned so many, like I have a guy who's 86 years old that speaks into my life on a consistent basis. And one of the reasons I try to do that is because of time relativity. Literally a year of time for me, because of how much longer he's lived. Yeah. It is such a short period of time. It feels like, oh my goodness, how could I wait that long for an outcome?
That's why like elementary school feels so long.
Eternal.
Because 1 year when you're 7 is 1/7 of your life. Dude. But 1 year when you're 70 is 1/10 of your life.
Bro.
It's a
whatever.
No,
a 70th.
Yeah, a 70th of your life, right? It's a very small percentage.
We're fantastic at math.
Guys, math is not mathing.
Yeah, science is your thing, not math.
Yeah, even though it's math. Anyway, it's fine. But yeah, it's like each percentage gets smaller and smaller.
Yeah, and they have a different view. They have a different view. So I just think that's a huge thing. And then, Chuck Lowe's, that was fantastic take there. Chuck Lowe's, so there's this guy, Chuck Lowe's, I think that's how you say his name. My dad would always say this quote when I was growing up, but he would say like, Chuck Lowe's had this, it was an artist, and he would just say something to the effect of, inspiration is for amateurs, professionals just go to work every day, right? And
That's
it's
really
like,
good.
It's the concept of like, if you wait till you're inspired to do what you need to do to become great, you will not be great. That's just the bottom line.
Yeah.
And like,
people call that the grind now, like going like just that routine, that grind,
dude.
Yep.
And so I wanted to ask you, because I have a lot of thoughts on the topic of inspiration, and the role it plays in my life, and I think for artists and people, I have an opportunity to do like kind of different sides of stuff. Both sides of my brain are in full use during my week. But what keeps you inspired? How do you stay inspired? Do you stay inspired?
Yes. Short answer, yes, normally, but not last week.
Yeah.
Like it was just, I do stay inspired. I think that I wanted to, like, I did the same thing, built a new file from scratch for end of year. That was a from scratch file.
for front of house.
For front
and
of house.
It was
Well,
uniquely gangster as well.
But the thing is, the first night was pretty different from the second night. And the first night, it was still good, but it was less honed. There was more things happening. It was less dialed in.
The mid-range was very lively the first night, in my opinion.
And then second night, it got way better. And then all I have to say, staying inspired for me, I think the worship experience inspires me. So
like the live worship experience,
being there and like in the studio, like if I can connect with something that I'm doing emotionally, inspires me, right? But it doesn't, if I'm not inspired, it normally doesn't prevent me from delivering what I need to deliver on the highest level. I'm trying to, right?
Yeah.
But for this, because Upper Room's so close to my heart, it's like it's the thing.
It's an outflow, yeah.
Yeah, and so it's just like I really want to. It came from a place of like I really want to deliver the best I can deliver. But again, it was the decision itself was sourced out of, like it. Just I'm bored. I want to try something new and give it my all and do something new. Anyway, but so how do you stay inspired? It's like just I connect with what I'm doing. That's all. And I'm in a position.
You don't listen to much music.
I do listen to music, but I don't listen to. I listen to a lot of like instrumental stuff, metal worship. Just kidding,
dude. I wanted to.
I'm just kidding. I found this video.
Were you there when we played that?
Dude, I found this video of Brian Welch, who's from Korn, the metal band Korn. But he got saved a while ago and started I guess he started a metal Christian worship band.
That video was like 3 years old. I just saw.
But I'm like, okay,
it's sincere,
it's a little vibey. It's a little vibey, and
yeah, the mix actually sounds nasty.
It's pretty cool. Anyway, so
metalcore,
I don't know if I would. Anyway, but it's worship. Like there's like metal, but everyone's lifting their hands. It's just things you don't see paired together often, which is cool. Like I think there's a place for that. But inspirationally, I don't listen to a lot of music. Just in general, I listen to like instrumental stuff and podcasts and,
dude. Stuff. Yeah, I was gonna say, when it comes to like inspiration, literally, I realized maybe I want to say in like 2016, 2017 when I realized I wasn't going to do audio. And then I realized I was going, and business stuff started. I just recognized, like I wasn't going to do audio as a career. You know what I mean? When I just kind of decided I was going to do business stuff.
Even though you kind of are doing audio as a career.
I just don't mix very often. But I guess I am doing audio. You get it. Point is, when that happened, I realized, okay, so I got exposed to how I built this. In the first episode, it was an NPR podcast at a time. Now it's a Wonder or whatever podcast. But I heard the story, and I had just started my first company. And when I heard the story, I was like, oh my gosh, this guy had the same problems that I have right now. James Dyson, the guy with
Dyson?
Yes, James Dyson with $3 billion. That guy, he had the same problem I have right now, but he was 30. And like when I realized that, I was like, wait a second. Because he had kids young, he had a mortgage, and he was trying to design this wheelbarrow thing. He was working on the Cyclone.
Yeah.
Like he had all this thing, and we had Roman Young, and I was just like, oh crap, what am I gonna do? And then I heard how I built this, and I was thinking about my business, and I was like, oh my gosh. And I remember after that, it made me think so much bigger. Yeah. Every big moment for me has been thinking bigger. I've realized like all my problems right now are pebbles. I just need to go kick some boulders.
Honestly, that's one thing I admire about you is that there's like the vision is literally endless.
Yeah.
Like doesn't matter. I'm like, bro, this is amazing. We crossed this many. It's like, we got to get to this one. It's like we celebrate for 28 seconds and then it's over,
It's I need to get better at that, actually, celebrating more. But point is, what I realized in that moment, I saw how it affected me in that week. I forget what happened, but after I heard it, I just started cooking on my business in a new way. And I was like, oh my gosh, I perform so much better when I'm inspired.
Mm-hmm.
So I could do one of two things here. I could depend on my willpower, which my willpower is obviously a part of me, right? And I have willpower.
Yeah.
Or I can make it my responsibility to stay inspired.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't I use my willpower towards that? Because it's self-fueling.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's self-fueling. It's like a solar panel for work.
The difference, I think, is that's actively looking for inspiration.
Yep.
Versus most people, I think, wait for it to hit you.
Dude.
And I'm kind of in the latter group and you're in the former group. And it's amazing. Like I'm, again, learning since we met, and I've learned a lot from you, obviously, but there's like, just in life, there's some discipline things, and that's one of them. That's one of the key attributes that
staying inspired.
Just choosing, because if we always wait for our emotions to
catch
govern
up with
what we
need to do, yeah,
like then to govern the emotions are the most flippant things,
dude.
And discipline has to be the bedrock of your life if you're going to succeed.
Yeah. Do you generate sales or do you wait for referrals? Right? That tells me everything about how a business is going to do. If someone tells me, oh, my business is all referral, I'm like, nice.
Yeah.
COVID hits and you're done.
Just
COVID
my
hits
business before AudioLink was all referrals.
Well, yeah, exactly. the point is like you are one non-recommendation away, as opposed to the person that like, no, I have put something together that I'm going to generate value. I'm going to generate leads, which are going to generate meetings. I'm going to be the force. I'm going to be the action. And yeah, so I think that's huge. Dude, honestly, for me, I can't encourage, especially young people, I can't encourage people enough. Like there is one of my like macro philosophies right now is like all of the knowledge and wisdom that all of us need. First of all, like 70% of it, even practical wisdom, is just in the Bible.
Yes.
And it's just there to read. All you have to do is apply it.
Proverbs.
Dude, all you have to do is apply it.
Yeah.
And like, I know that sounds so like obtuse, but like it's actually true. The amount of people that I meet that have read all of these business books, and I'm like, are you going to do any of the stuff?
Yeah.
So I think
it's almost like the Tony Robbins is like regurgitating biblical.
Dude, exactly.
That's what he's doing.
A lot of those, a lot of the business books are just regurgitating biblical principles, but it's like, it's a matter of, I think, so staying inspired, at least for me, I'll say this to make it like really concise. One, there's so much content out there. Being intentional, like for years, from 2017 to really 2021, I listened to How I Built This every day. I listened to every episode in its history, and then I was waiting for the next one. Yeah. And they would do reruns, and I would get Guy Raz, right? They would do reruns, and I would get so upset. I was like, dang it, I already heard this one. Yeah. When they would do the reruns, because, they would film every week, whatever. And hearing those stories as I was in my darkest days, my no money, my accounts overdrawn, this, that, the other, I have to pay rent, whatever. Like in those moments when I'm hearing those stories, I'm like, dude, I'm fine.
Yeah.
This is exactly what should be happening. Yeah. And I think for people in a process,
builds character, for sure.
Taking in content, there's so much content to help us stay inspired. And on the, I guess that's on the business front. On the on a musical artistic front, which has definitely been like a smaller part of what I've done, I think listening to music for mixers, worship people. I worked at a church for part-time 3 years and then another 3.5 years full-time. So let's just say 6 years. I grew up there my whole life. I was around multiple like worship directors there, okay, when I worked there. Now, mind you, I'm like, in this time, I'm like 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Like that's how mature I was at this time. So, and in that time, I was around worship director people who constantly were listening to worship music. Yeah. Like they were a student of it. And I was around some that didn't listen at all. And like, you just know, walking by their office, are they playing worship music or are they not? And I felt like that told me this person is a student of this craft or they're not.
Yeah.
And how are they going to be inspired and how are they going to do new things? How are they going to, you have to read the classics first and then go next, right? And I don't know. I think for people in music, if you're not taking in a high volume of content, like I used to have this really prideful view of like my musical taste, which was like, oh, I could taint my own musical taste that I really like what I do if I listen to all this type of music. It's like the opposite. You find your own sound.
Yeah.
Like all the clients we talk to that are like, we have our own sound.
Yeah.
We have our own sound of these elevation songs.
Yeah.
Right?
Which is elevation sound.
Yeah,
but yes.
We have our own sound. I think you can have your own sound once you have mastered the sound of the song you're trying to play.
Yeah.
And then from that, like something can come forth. So I think those are the biggest things for me and trying to get away from. So I guess practically for you, here's a question I have. How do you practically get away, like now where you stand, from falling into I need something to ride off of in order to do what I have to do tomorrow? How do you
like a high to ride off of, so to speak?
Yeah, like I feel like that's the main thing we see people do, or at least that bothers us. Like what would you say is your main mechanism currently to stay inspired when it comes to mixing?
So I mean, for me, there's the music. Whatever I'm working on right then is the thing that determines that if I'm inspired or not. I think I've gotten decently good at not letting my inspiration level affect negatively what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
so like
totally.
if I'm not inspired by something, it's still going to sound good.
Yeah.
But if I am, it helps it sound better.
Yeah.
In my opinion, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one like.
What product inspires you the most that you work with? This is a nerdier question.
Product. Ooh.
Yeah.
It's amazing how good FabFilter stuff is.
Yeah.
It's crazy good. It doesn't make sense how good it is.
Yeah.
Like the EQs and everything else, the limiters they're amazing. The obviously the Pro C3 just came out, the compressor. It's amazing. Just the detail. It's so super detailed. It's transparent, or you can choose for it to have like a transformer like function and color the sound a little bit more, which is cool. I'm inspired by, gear wise, honestly, it's hard. Plugins, I'm not inspired by plugins generally a lot, but those are an exception.
Yeah.
But if I were to, I'm inspired by front of house consoles. Yeah. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's like all this power.
Well, it feels like, I think what is difficult for me nowadays with inspiration with mixing, if I was a full-time record mixer, I would be a console guy. I just want you to know that. I would not mix in the box. The reason why is like there's this tactile reality of me like physically touching this thing and hearing an audible response and the like connectedness. I feel like that produces more engagement, even if I'm mixing for a service or song, whatever, that like the band's kind of whack or whatever. If I'm just touching the whole thing, I don't know. I feel like there's this other element than mousing around.
Even if it's in mono.
Dude, the best mix in my early days was in mono. I told you that.
Moody, at Moody, where was it?
At Moody, yeah. It was by far. I made this disproportionately good mix to where I was at the time.
Yeah.
And it was in mono, so.
I remember that PA because I visited my friend there once.
Yeah, it's funny. Well.
That center cluster.
Yeah, I think to wrap this up, it's definitely tough. Like, there's so many directions that this whole thing could go that I kind of swam around a lot. But I think us as people and artists, and whether you're a business owner, mixer, you work in a church, you produce music, I think you either recognizing, look, I'm going to stick to a discipline day in and day out, despite how inspired I am, or I'm going to make it part of my discipline to stay inspired. Like, you've got to do one or the other, you know? And I think to bookend, like the solution of waiting for inspiration is a risky one.
It's true. It's true. It's risky. Yeah. It's difficult to push through, but it's discipline that creates it. Doing the same thing every day, getting up, doing it, and having a routine. Those are like life principles. I mean, obviously they work for audio, but like in life, you know, for your family, for your kids, for your wife, for your husband, you know?
Yeah. Roald Dahl, you know, writer Roald Dahl.
He wrote Matilda, right?
He wrote all those books like BFG, Matilda, and a bunch more. And he would wake up each day, go into like this, I like this because it's a creative thing. He would go into like what was like an outhouse. It was like a office in his backyard that was like this very, very small thing just with a desk. And he would sit there and he would write from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. And then he would go back inside.
And that's it.
And that's it. Yeah. And he would just write every day.
Well,
he would just write stories.
John Williams, I mean, the greatest composer for movies ever, right? Obviously.
Yeah.
He would score, I want to say 10 minutes a day for a full orchestra, or he would write music 10 minutes a day, just out of his practice, whether he was working on a film or not. He would just write music.
He would always take time to write new stuff.
And 10 minutes, or it might be less, but 10 minutes is a lot of music.
Dude. He would score 10 minutes of music. Oh my gosh.
A day, just every day. That was his routine. And the dude's like 94.
10 minutes. I was like,
no.
I was like, that's not much. Brother.
He would write, no. He would score 10 minutes of music.
That's crazy.
He'd make a 10-minute track every day.
That's nuts.
But for like a symphony.
Yeah.
So the 68 pieces or whatever that are in a symphony. It's like, but obviously the results are shown in his work.
Yeah.
I mean,
the outcomes
Star
are ridiculous.
Wars, Superman, Indiana Jones, Harry Potter.
All my kids know his stuff and could sing it.
Oh, yeah. Exactly. It's amazing. Anyway.
So cool, dude. Well, this was fun.
'Twas fun.
Yep. See you guys.